Judge, let's talk about the shutdown, the partial government shutdown now entering its third week. This is obviously over border wall funding. Yesterday, I spoke with Democrat Representative Ro Khanna, who said he wants border security. Watch this.
The reality is the president's campaign promise was that Mexico was going to pay for it, and he still hasn't explained why Mexico isn't paying for it. And so I think that that is important for him to level. But put the politics aside. Let's talk about funding for border security and the best way to do it. And a lot of the experts will tell you that the president's idea of a wall isn't actually what's going to secure our borders. It's not what's going to help against drug trafficking and sex trafficking and all the problems that he's identifying.
You know, Judge, we already have a wall on a big portion of that border.
Yes.
So when Nancy Pelosi says that this next portion, the next 40% or whatever on the southern border is immoral, well, wait a minute. Was the initial border that's already there and there's a wall there, is that not immoral? So, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Well, the president said he's threatening he will declare a national emergency to build that wall. Can he do that?
In a word, no. And that's not me saying no, because the Supreme Court said no when Harry Truman attempted to do that. When there was a steel strike during the Korean War, he asked the Congress to authorize him to seize the steel mills and operate them against the strikers' wishes and produce steel for our troops who desperately needed it in the Korean War. The Supreme Court said, no, you can't do that. Congress can do it. Congress can pay for the steel mills and operate them, but the president can't do it on his own. Stated differently, the Supreme Court has made it very clear, even in times of emergency, the president of the United States of America cannot spend money unless it's been authorized by the Congress. I think this is a bargaining technique. Donald Trump is the master bargainer. He's eyeball to eyeball with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. He expects that they will blink first. But when push comes to shove, this declaring an emergency and spending money however I want is not going to happen.
Maybe, but I mean, there must be other ways to get that wall up. I mean, aren't there ways that he can do it by moving money around, or is that also not on the table?
There's a clause in the Constitution that requires that every expenditure by the government be expressly approved by the Congress. In some instances, that's violated, like for the intelligence community. They give the CIA a budget. They don't say specifically you can use this for bribing foreign officials and you can use this for shooting foreign officials. But with respect to domestic expenditures, the budget is very precise, and the president has to comply with it. The reason I think this is a bargaining chip is because I think the president knows that we need comprehensive immigration and border security reform. And the time to do that is not when there's a gun to somebody's head because people are going to lose their homes because they can't pay their mortgages because the federal government won't pay their salaries, but in a patient atmosphere of a debate, a great national debate about how we want to treat those who want to come here.
Judge, good to see you this morning. Thanks so much.
Enjoy San Francisco, my friend.
Thank you so much. Loving it. And Judge Andrew Napolitano.